This fourth Sunday in ordinary time, the liturgy presents to us the Magna Carta, which we call it the blueprint of every Christian. We call them the Beatitudes. In the first reading today, we see the prophet speaking to the people of Israel who are at this moment, they are about to leave Babylon because their time of exile has been completed. And now King Cyrus is going to come to reign, and the chosen people of God are going to be released from their enslavement and go back home. And that's why he said to them, humble yourself in front of the Lord, because he shall find pity for you. And the promise of your fathers, he is going to fulfill it. In the gospel today, we find Jesus at the Beatitudes give us really what it is necessary for every Christian, not only to love God, but to be at peace with one another. If you want to know a Christian, see how much that Christian get along with others. When that Christian does not get along with others, there is something wrong in his relationship with God. That is the thermostat by which we really measure our loyalty to God. Why? Because the commandments of God are not one. It's not just love me, but also love one another as you want others to love you. So that is the thermostat by which we really understand the relationship that a person has with God. And today in the Beatitudes we heard that Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit. He is not saying that blessed are we who are poor, that we have to beg or steal to earn our living. But blessed are those that they are ready from what they have received from the providence of God, are ready to open their heart and share it with those who do not have. And that is really the actual meaning of that verse. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who feel for those who lost their loved ones. Because in return, God is going to make others feel for them when they are in that same situation. Blessed are those who are single-minded. Now this is very important, because single-minded means that although we have so much possessions in this life, and there is so many things that sometimes we can alienate ourselves, but the promise that we have, that we make, is to have God as the first objective of our daily life. Blessed are those who are single-minded, that God is number one all over all the possessions and things that they see. Blessed are those who are peacemakers. We see sometimes people going to summits and meetings and over this and means nothing. If we do not understand that peace begins from within, we need to understand that we are going to be reflecting peace if we are really at peace with ourselves. And that peace is going to render peace among others. And that is very important. That's why Jesus called them, they are children of God. Because if we really are people who have peace in our heart with others and try to be harmony people, then we are His own children. Because we are the seed of His kingdom. We are the one who promote His kingdom. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of my name. And that is very important. Right now the people of Syria, the people of Iraq, the people of all over where persecution is taking place, blessed are they, because they are the one who are not going to be left alone. Because He make it clear, I am with you until the end of time. Do not be afraid what you are going to speak in front of your courts or kings or governors. I will give you words. I will not leave you orphans. I will be there for you. And that's why He said they are not going to be alone. And blessed are you when they insult you and say every other word against you because of me. Do not be afraid. because you are candidates of the kingdom. Now, if we take all this, we summarize it in very small words. We need to humble ourselves, because in that humbleness, God will select us to do marvelous things. Look at our church. It began from 12 men who did not go to university. They did not have too much schooling. They did not have too much philosophy in their heads. But look what they did to the word. They confuse those who are something. And here we come to St. Paul. St. Paul make it clear that in weakness we are strong. Because in that weakness, God is in love with. And you know why he is in love with that weakness? Because his own son, in that weakness, he pleased God. He who was God lowered himself to become like us in everything but sin, so that by his death on the cross, he can reconcile you, make you righteousness, and by his resurrection, he gave you the hope of the resurrection too. And that's why St. Paul today reminds us that we who are weak, we are the one who confront the strong, who confront those who think something. Those who are nothing, they will be at a struggle, or they will be a challenge for those who think that they know everything. In humbleness. Look at the Blessed Mother. When she was given her the announcement that she was going to be the mother of the Most High, running to Elizabeth because the angel told her that her relative is now in her 6 months, she who was called to be without no children. Now when Elizabeth said to her, "When I hear your voice in my ears, my baby stir in my womb with joy." And Mary opened her mouth, and in the beautiful words of the Magnificat she said, "I praise the Lord, because he looks at my nothingness and raised me to be someone, that now every generation on earth will call me blessed." My dear people, this is what God do for each one of us. When we, with our pride, raise our heads and think that we are intelligent and we know more than the law of God, and we know more than the church, and more than the time that we are going to fall. And I conclude with the experience of St. Paul that we celebrate this week at the day of his conversion, 25th of January. St. Paul was going with pride because he has received word from the high priest to go to Damascus and capture men and women, young and old, and bring them to be destroyed in Jerusalem for the new way that they have adopted. As he was going there, in the middle of the day, in the heat of the day, God sent a light from heaven and struck him and threw him to the ground. And look to the words that was spoken, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And St. Paul said to him, "Who are you, Lord, that I am persecuting?" And Jesus said to him, "Go to Damascus, and there you are going to meet whom you are persecuting, my Christians, my church." And that is exactly what we do when we put our nose in the air against the teaching of the church, the teaching of the gospel, the Beatitudes. And if we don't live by those blueprints, we cannot have peace with God and with one another. God bless you.